Please, this is not the time. Don't do this!
The chime of crystal glasses, the roar of polished laughter, the soft strains of violins. My father's 60th birthday celebration was flawless on the surface. Everyone wore their finest masks of devotion. I had been trying to blend into the shadows at the edge of the ballroom when his voice sliced through the air like a knife. "So, Elena, have you settled into the villa yet?" The music faltered. Conversations halted. I blinked in shock. "Villa? What villa?" Clara, my sister, radiant in her shimmering silver dress, turned pale. My mother's nails dug into my arm, her hiss sharp with venom. "Don't you dare ask." But my father's eyes never moved away. They seared into me, part ridicule, part threat. The entire room held its breath, listening. And in that suspended instant, I knew, whatever villa he meant, it wasn't just a house. It was a secret, one heavy with danger. What I didn't yet understand was how that single question, tossed into the air before 100 witnesses, would ignite the fire that would reduce my family to ashes. I should have known. In my family, every gift hid a blade beneath it. My name is Elena Moreno, second daughter of Richard Moreno, industrialist, kingmaker, tyrant. To the world, he was a respected mogul and philanthropist. To us, he was a ruler, never a father. Clara was his crown jewel. Always flawless, always praised, the perfect heir. She could never misstep. And me? I was the failure. The dreamer with pain on my hands. The one living in a shabby apartment instead of a mansion. The one who refused to obey, who chose canvases over contracts. My mother had long abandoned the idea of shielding me. She survived by silence, by ignoring the affairs, the cruelty, the cold. So I grew up on the outside, watching their empire from a distance, knowing I didn't belong. Until that night. Until the villa. The ballroom overflowed with opulence, gold-trimmed curtains, tables sparkling with crystal, a quartet tucked neatly into a corner. Men in tuxedos boasted of their conquests. Women gleamed like ornaments, laughing at jokes without humor. I was nursing a half-empty glass of wine, already planning my escape, when Father lifted his glass and addressed me. "Have you moved into the villa yet?" I froze. My fork slipped, clattering against the plate. "Villa?" I repeated, louder than I intended. "What villa?" Clara's complexion drained. She looked at Father, then at me, lips trembling as if she might faint. My mother's grip tightened painfully on my arm, her whisper frantic. "Not here. Not now. Don't ask." But Father smirked, tilting his head. "Don't play innocent, Elena. The Moreno villa in Tuscany. I transferred it to you weeks ago." "Clara, isn't that right?" Every gaze swung toward her. Clara's hand shook as she raised her glass. "Yes, Father. That's right." But her face betrayed her, the lie written in every line. The guests offered polite applause, but my thoughts were already elsewhere. I had no knowledge of this villa. Nothing. And from the look on Clara's face, she knew. Something felt profoundly, horribly off. Sleep eluded me that night. My father's words spun in my head, and Clara's drained face followed my every blink. By dawn I found myself at the city records office, slipping a clerk cash I could ill afford. By noon my tiny kitchen table was buried under a pile of documents. There it was, the Moreno Villa deed, signed over, not to me, but to Clara, forged with my name. The signature matched mine, except it didn't. Each loop and stroke was unnaturally precise, as if traced from some archival script. I just sat and stared, my hands shaking. They had robbed me again. And for the first time in years, I did not feel like the overlooked daughter. I felt dangerous. The following evening I burst into the Moreno house. The marble, the pricey canvases, the whole place felt colder, hollower. Clara reclined on the sofa, a silk robe wrapped around her like a crown. "Why?" I snapped, slamming the papers onto the coffee table. She startled, then pasted on a smile. Elena, lower your voice. Father won't. I don't care what father wants, I cut her off. You forged my signature. You stole the villa. Her eyes darted, guilt flashed briefly before arrogance settled back in. You don't get it, she said. Father always meant that for me. You don't belong in this family's future. Something inside me snapped. You have taken everything, my place, my dignity, now even my inheritance. My mother appeared in the doorway, her tone cutting. Stop this, both of you. We will not settle this here. Then he entered. Father, tall, formidable, his presence like a thunderhead, strode in. Let her speak, he ordered. So I did. I spread the papers across the table, every shred of proof. He glanced through them. His jaw set. Then, startlingly, he did not turn to me, he faced Clara. You were careless, he said, ice in his voice. Her composure collapsed. Father, she began. But I had already stopped listening. Because in that instant I realized something fundamental. They had always been allied against me. Now there was a fissure. And through that fissure, I intended to consume them. Revenge is not fury. Fury is clumsy. Revenge is patience. Revenge is craft. I began to build my network. Quietly, I reached out to those my father had ruined, ex-business partners, longtime employees cast aside, women he'd used and discarded. They despised him. They were waiting for someone like me. I played the dutiful daughter. I smiled at dinners. I accepted the gift of the villa with staged gratitude. I let him believe my loyalty was finally secured. All the while, I dug. Hidden bank accounts, offshore entities, shell companies masking payoffs. I set my sights on Clara. I uncovered her sham charities, the channels she used to launder funds, the politicians she met in secret. I let murmurs spread through the right circles until whispers swelled into allegations. In step 4, I waited. The ideal moment would be the Moreno Foundation Gala, the night my father annually stood before the world as a paragon. This time, he would fall. The ballroom gleamed brighter than ever. Flashing cameras, glittering gowns. A crowd gathered to praise my father. But I was prepared too. He stepped onto the stage. Tuxedo sharp, smile perfected. The room hushed as he launched into his speech. Boasting of generosity, of legacy, of power. Then the screens flickered. Apologies, just a glitch, someone muttered. But it wasn't. My face appeared. Gasps rippled through the hall. Good evening, my recorded voice began. My name is Elena Moreno. Tonight, while you sip and celebrate my father's empire, I want you to see what it was built on. One by one, documents filled the screen. The forged deed to the villa. The hidden offshore accounts. The trail of bribes. And this, my voice went on, is my sister, Clara. Her charities are nothing but shells. Her debts are endless. The men she entertains, powerful men, are the only reason she survives. Photos. Papers. Evidence. The room erupted. Journalists scribbled in a frenzy. Politicians slipped quietly toward the exits. I stood at the back, unnoticed, watching my father's face flush crimson. For the first time in my life, he was powerless. And it was beautiful. Within weeks, the empire crumbled. Investigations swarmed. Accounts were frozen. Assets seized. Richard Moreno, the untouchable, was dragged through headlines in courtrooms. His allies deserted him like rats. Fleeing a sinking ship. Clara's name splashed across every tabloid. She couldn't step into a restaurant without whispers chasing her. Soon, she vanished. Her reign as golden child finished. My mother retreated into silence. Just as she always had. Only this time without a mansion to hide in. And me? I never took the villa. I didn't need it. My revenge was never about walls and gardens in Tuscany. It was about reclaiming the power they had stolen from me since birth. Sometimes unasked if I regret it. Tearing down my own blood. Dragging them through the dirt. But I don't. Because blood isn't family. Loyalty is. Honesty is. Love is. My father gave me none. My sister betrayed me without hesitation. My mother chose silence over protection. So no, I have no regrets. Because in the ruins of their empire, I finally found freedom. And freedom, I've learned, is the sweetest revenge of all. The end.